Any discussion on the agenda? Seeing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Next is the date and time of our regular meetings coming up. As you remember, we have the biennial organizational meeting of the new board term on Monday, December the 5th. There are no committee meetings during December, and the regular board meeting will be on December the 15th here in this room. Next is public participation. We do have a couple of folks tonight that would like to speak. The first is Jim Randall from the Seymour Water District.
Before we begin, I just got a note from somebody that says there's no sound on the stream right now. It's working now? Okay.
Good evening. My name is Jim Randall. I'm the chairman of the Seymour Water District. I reside at 114 East Center Street in Seymour. Wanted to speak to you briefly about the application we put in back, I think, in May for about $60,000 for some meter repairs that we are in dire need of. It's going to cost in the neighborhood of $60,000 to do this. We have an annual operating budget of $106,000 a year. So it's a small district. We have 155 meters, and there's a population of about 325. So we initially started the district in 1995 and took out a loan with rural development and other grants and that for 40 years. So we still have 16 years to go to complete the initial project. And water meters don't last forever. And currently, the ones that we have put in have about a 10-year lifespan. So this will be our third go-around at replacing water meters. And they are rapidly reaching the second bunch of reaching their lifespan. Out of the 155, we currently have about 30 meters that aren't working. So that amounts to the fact that we have to estimate how much water is being used. And that's based on what was being used prior to the meters stop working. And so every month there's another 2 or 3 meters that have stopped working. And in addition to the electronics part of it, the mechanical part is already about 13 years old, 14 years like that. So, well, pushing 25 because we've changed it once already. And so the older a water meter gets, the mechanical part wears, and the more it wears, more water goes through the meter that does not get recorded as usage. So that ends up being water that we buy from Illinois American that we cannot sell because it's not recorded in the meter. So as you can see, this is a situation that Seymour is a low-income community for the most part, and the average water bill right now costs a family of 3 and between $40 and $45, depending on how much water they use. So when you have low to medium income families, even at a $45 water bill is pretty hard for some of the families to make up. So we try to have do an annual 3% increase in our rates every year. But whenever you do that, Illinois Americans' rates sometimes outgrow the 3% that we do. So it's pretty hard for us to keep our heads above water and not really financially stress individuals. So any consideration that you could give us for that, we would certainly appreciate it whenever the time comes that you will be discussing this again. I appreciate your time. If anybody has any questions, I'd.
No, we can't answer questions now, sorry.
Okay.
This is just, you, yeah. Okay, next is, tonight, normally, we don't have public officials talking during the public participation time, but we have a couple tonight, just for, I guess, we don't have another place to put them on the agenda. So this is Elizabeth Polak. She's our new public defender.
Good evening. I'm not technically a county official yet because I don't get sworn in until December 5th. But I wanted to at least introduce myself to everybody on the board so you can get to know me and so that I can give you kind of an overview of what my last week and a half has been like since I accepted this position. You're going to be hearing from me over the next several months about the needs that the County Public Defender's Office is experiencing. To that end, I have been basically in nonstop meetings for the last 10 days, and so many that my head is not even on straight anymore. As many of you may know, the Public Defender's Office has been experiencing a drastic personnel shortage combined with soaring caseloads, resulting in an inability for our assistants to perform our base constitutional function of adequately representing the indigent who are involved in criminal cases in this county. The American Bar Association's Standing Committee on Legal Aid and Indigent Defense has been studying the effect of understaffed public defenders' offices nationally, and they have found in recent studies that this type of deficiency risks costly errors in the criminal justice system. It erodes public trust in the justice system, and it strains the individuals who are working in that system. With the existing deficiencies, it could jeopardize the system's ability to function as a whole. The theme that has emerged in the meetings that I have had thus far is that the staff, who is working as hard as they possibly can, many hours over what they're required to work, can't keep up. This is based in part on our inability to pay a salary that is competitive with other counties in the central Illinois area. We are delayed in terms of implementing technology-based legal representation, and in general, we have a lack of resources for training. This all combines to cost the county more money. In the long run, you will pay more money for private attorneys to cover the caseload that we cannot cover. There are post-conviction petitions for ineffective assistance of counsel that increase the caseloads of both the state and the Public Defender's Office. And there is always the threat of litigation, of lawsuits for not having an adequately staffed public defender's office. I have not yet determined the specific requests that I intend to make for next year's budget, nor your budget process in general. I've got another meeting next week to figure that one out. But I can tell you that we will need to compensate our staff adequately for the yeoman's work that they are doing on behalf of the indigent in this community. We need to upgrade our trial presentation and case management technology, and we need additional supplies which will streamline our office processes and increase our efficiency overall. I have been with the Federal Public Defender's Office for the last decade. I am a dedicated servant of the indigent. It is my life's work and mission to serve those who cannot afford private counsel. Every defendant is a human being who has a family and who has fear and who has emotions. And the fact that they are charged with a crime does not mean that they are not that human being. They should not be deprived of adequate and zealous representation by virtue of their financial status. I can tell you that everybody in my new office and the office that I come from are dedicated to ensuring that our clients are well served. I look forward to working with all of you over the next couple of years to make sure that this fundamental part of our justice system becomes the baseline reality for all of the residents of Champaign County. Thank you.
Okay, Aaron, you're next.
All right, good evening, everybody. My name is Aaron Ammons. I am your Champaign County Clerk and Recorder. I'm addressing you during public comments because I want to publicly praise a great Chief Deputy, employee of the county and human being, Miss Toni Caesar. Miss Caesar has worked in the Recorder's office for 20 years, and while she is being honored tonight at this meeting, I wanted to take a moment to personally acknowledge the hard work she has done on behalf of the people of Champaign County. Toni started in the Recorder's office as a deputy clerk, and her skills, understanding of the processes and procedures, and how she contributed to the culture of the office eventually led to her being promoted to chief deputy. One of the key indicators of Tony's commitment and desire to get the job done is the fact that she has served, some might say survived, 4 different recorders, 2 Republicans and 2 Democrats. Politics can be polarizing at times, and typically new elected officials bring in their own chief of staff, but that was not the case in the recorder's office. Barb Fresca, Mark Sheldon, Mike Ingram, and I all recognize what Ms. Caesar has brought and continues to bring to the culture and service in the recorder's office, and that's why she's being honored tonight. Tony has put the work and the people of Champaign County above any other interest and made it a priority to show up every single day and give amazing customer service every chance she gets. Tony is a working chief. She jumps in when staff members are absent or out for extended periods of time. The seamless merger of the recorder's office into the clerk's office certainly must be attributed to the collective work and responsibility of the staff in the recorder's office, but I would be remiss if I didn't highlight the dedication, humility, sacrifice, and service of Tony Caesar. She knows what she's doing. She's there every day. She stands strong on positions when necessary, and yet she's open and willing to follow the direction of new leadership. Tony is fun to work with, and she understands the importance of getting the work done while being someone people really enjoy working with. She has a subtle ability to make sure the staff who report to her are supported and valued while simultaneously modeling the standard of commitment, professionalism, excellent customer service that we want from all county employees. Tony, I want to thank you for your service to our office, the people of Champaign County, and to humanity. It is an honor to work with you. Thank you again for all you have done for the past 20 years, and we look forward to 20 more. Thank you.
Okay. Patrick Thompson.
Good afternoon. My name is Patrick Thompson. I'm president of VIA Inc. We are a construction company located in Champaign. And I was here probably maybe a few months ago talking about you guys putting minority goals on your construction projects. And the Champaign County Jail project did have those aspirational goals. There was 10% MBE and 5% women-owned. And I was also at the pre-bid meeting, and we did prepare a proposal. We did contact all the contractors that stated that they were going to bid, and even those that sent the bid invitations. As I followed up after the project was bidded with the architect firm, it was communicated to me that these were aspirational goals and that they didn't believe that the contractor was obligated to meet the goals. I communicated back. I said that the bid document stated they were aspirational goals and that the contractors that bid the project are familiar with these aspirational goals, and that they should have been able to either meet the goals or show good faith effort. Now, I've been in construction for over a decade now, and as a minority and African American, I'm constantly having to remind state agencies and municipalities and county boards and et cetera about the need to have these goals, enforce these goals, and that we be given opportunities to be awarded and be on construction projects. So to me, it's getting real old that I'm still having these same conversations, and I'm having with the same individuals, the same firms, same architect, engineer firms. And it seems like it's all about, well, you know, we just want the project to get built, and we, you know, we're not, you know, whether there's goals on the project or not, we really don't have any interest in that. And so I'm here tonight to find out if the project, if the aspirational goals was not met, what you guys are going to do? Are you guys going to let this project be awarded? Because in here it's saying that you guys are recommending that the project be awarded. Or are you guys going to rebid this project with instructions that they meet these goals? Now, whether it's my firm or some other firm, that's whether, you know, it doesn't matter. But we need to start seeing that. You know, we need to start seeing, you know, our young African-American minority contractors. We need to start seeing them grow, doing business. We need to see that in the workforce as well. Now, you know, and I'm going to be back. So, and whoever I need to be in touch with, you know, you have my contact information. But I have been looking at the process, and I did participate in submitting the proposal and contacting the firms that were going to bid it, stating what we were going to bid and what we were looking at. And so that's all I have tonight. Thank you.
Okay, I don't have any more slips up here. Is there anyone else who wanted to speak during public participation? Seeing none, we will close that part of the meeting. We're now to the consent agenda. Can the executive get a motion to approve the consent agenda? Mr. Esri? Second? Mr. Thorsland? Would the clerk call the roll, please? We don't have discussion now. You should have pulled it off at the beginning. Sorry. Yeah, we're just, you vote on this now. Okay, go ahead, call the roll, please.
King,
Yes.
Lakshan,
Yes.
McGuire, Paul,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Yes.
Storr,
Yes.
Summers,
Yes.
Taylor,
Yes.
Thorsland,
Yes.
Finish Theorenot,
Yes.
Williams, Wolkin, Carter,
Yes.
Cowart,
Yes.
Esri,
Yes.
Furtado,
Yes.
Goss,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Patterson.
Yes.
Okay, we're now down to communications. Does any member of the board have any other communications besides the notice that's in your packet regarding the Muhammad Aquifer study? Mr. Storr?
Thank you. I just kind of call the board's attention to the information that I hoped that you had already received about the HTEM Media Day at Frasca Field on November 21st. And I hope that at least some of you will come to meet some of the scientists and engineers that will be involved in that study.
Anything else from the board? Okay, seeing nothing, we're down to approval of the minutes. Can I get an omnibus motion to approve the minutes of October 20th, 2022 and October 20th, 2022 Truth and Taxation hearing?
So
Mr.
moved.
Goss? Thank you.
Have a second.
Ms. Lakshan, thank you. Any discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Next, we are in standing committees. The summaries of action taken at the county facilities meeting, November 1st, 2022. The Environment and Land Use Committee summary of action taken November 3rd, 2022. And the Highway and Transportation Committee summary of action, November 4th, 2022, are received and placed on file. The summary of action taken November 9th, 2022 at the Committee of the Whole is received and placed on file. Now we're down to policy and appointments. There is one additional item to share tonight. I'm going to pass around pictures while we do this. And Drew, you can put the picture up. These are a gift of Jenny Putman, who is in one of the pictures. This is the time when Lorraine Cowart was sworn in to the county board way long ago. So can I get a motion of the resolution, Mr. Storr?
Thank you. If you, with the chair's permission, I will read the resolution in its entirety, which was drafted with the help of Mr. Jeff Blue, Mr. Steve Summers, and others, including myself. Resolution designating the Highway Department Conference Room as the Lorraine Cowart Conference Room. Whereas roads, highways, and transportation are vital to the public health, welfare, and economy of civil society, and that roads convey children to school, people to places for employment and commerce, for agricultural work of all kinds, for recreation, for emergency services, and provide reliable routes for conveyance. And whereas Ms. Lorraine Cowart was sworn in as Champaign County Board member from 1982 through 1986, and from 1988 until present. And whereas Lorraine Cowart has served on the Highway and Transportation Committee since 1998 and provided leadership as the committee chair since 2000. And whereas under the guidance and leadership of Lorraine Cowart as the Highway and Transportation Committee chair, the Champaign County Highway Department has rebuilt 180 miles of roads and over 100 bridges to provide for the safe and efficient travel of the citizens of Champaign County. And whereas Lorraine Cowart has admirably served the citizens of Champaign County with her commitment to her responsibilities as a representative of the Champaign County Board District Number 11, to work in partnership with fellow county board members and officials of Champaign County, and with her full commitment, service, and dedication to the best interests of all people of Champaign County. And whereas the County Board of Champaign County seeks to permanently and publicly recognize the commitment and dedication of Ms. Lorraine Cowart, who continues to diligently serve the citizens of Champaign County as an elected official for more than 3 decades. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the County Board of Champaign County that the Highway Department Conference Room located at 1605 East Main Street, Urbana, Illinois, be named the Lorraine Cowart Conference Room in recognition of the exemplary selflessness and service still being provided by this esteemed elected official. Presented, adopted, and approved and recorded this day, November 17th, Anno Domini 2022.
Can I get a second? Mr. Esri.
Second.
Thank you. Any other discussion on this resolution? And I welcome Ms. Cowart's granddaughter who's here this evening. Yeah. Okay. May we take a vote? We need to take a vote. Those in favor?
Aye.
And those opposed? Okay, congratulations, Lorraine. Did you want to say something?
I just want to thank the voters of Champaign County for keeping electing me to this position. I'd like to thank the county board for putting up with me. Thank Jeff Blue for being outstanding highway supervisor. And I just only thing I can say is thank you, God, for this opportunity for me to serve Champaign County.
Thank you for your service, Lorraine. Okay, there will be a plaque installed in the conference room over there when we get the picture and the plaque done. Next is the Finance Committee. Would the Finance Chair like to make the recommendation for item 1, please? These are items we've talked about mostly, but they had to be brought to the full board. We couldn't put them on the consent agenda. Go ahead.
Adoption of resolution number 2022-258, approving budget transfer BUA 2022-10, 513 Fund 2619, Tax Sale Automation Department 026, County Treasurer, increased appropriation 10,100, increased revenue 10,100, reason additional funds required to pay part-time staff through the end of the year.
Yeah, second. Are you seconding it? Yeah, yes. You seconding, Leah? Okay. Ms. Taylor, any discussion on this item? I see the treasurer is here. Seeing none, this requires 15 votes. Would the clerk call the roll?
King,
Yes.
Lockshin,
Yes.
McGuire, Paul,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Yes.
Storr,
Yes.
Summers,
Yes.
Taylor,
Yes.
Dorsland,
Yes.
Benish Thiranot,
Yes.
Williams, Carter,
Yes.
Cowart,
Yes,
Esri,
Yes.
Furtado,
Yes.
Goss,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Patterson.
Yes.
Motion carries. Would the Finance Chair make the committee's recommendation for item 2, please?
Adoption of ordinance number 2022-15, annual tax levy.
Yep. Can I get a second? Ms. King? Discussion on this item? Seeing none, I need a roll call vote, please.
King,
Yes.
Lockshin,
Yes.
McGuire, Paul,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Yes.
Storr,
Yes.
Summers,
Yes.
Taylor,
Yes.
Dorsland,
Yes.
Benish Thiranot,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Carter,
Yes.
Cowart,
yes,
Esri,
Yes.
Furtado,
Yes.
Goss,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Patterson.
Yes.
Motion carries. Would the Finance Chair make the committee's recommendation for item 3?
Adoption of ordinance number 2022-16, annual budget and appropriation.
Can I get a second? Mr. Goss?
I second.
Discussion? This also requires a roll call vote.
King,
Yes.
Lockshin,
Yes.
McGuire, Paul,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Yes.
Storr,
Yes.
Summers,
Yes.
Taylor,
Yes.
Dorsland, Benish Thiranot,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Carter,
Yes.
Cowart,
yes,
Esri,
Yes.
Furtado,
Yes.
Goss,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Patterson.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries. Mostly, we just wanted you to read all these twice, Stephanie.
Thanks.
Would you-
Adoption of ordinance number 2022, I move, the providing for the issue of not to exceed $20 million general obligation bonds, public safety sales tax alternate revenue source for the purpose of consolidating the county's jail facilities by constructing and equipping an addition attached to the existing satellite jail, providing for the pledge of certain revenues to the payment of principal and interest on said bonds, and the levy of a direct annual tax sufficient to pay said bonds if the pledge revenues are insufficient to make such payments, and authorizing the sale of said bonds to the purchaser thereof.
Mr. Goss?
Second.
Thank you. I need to say also here The jail consolidation bond ordinance authorizes officials to sell the bonds not later than December 5th, 2022, at an interest rate not exceeding 6%, with the latest maturity of 1/1/2038. Any further discussion? Seeing none, I need a roll call vote, please.
King,
Yes.
Lakshin,
Yes.
McGuire, Paul,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Yes.
Store,
Yes.
Summers,
Yes.
Taylor,
Yes.
Thorsland,
Yes.
Finish Zernaut,
Yes.
Williams,
No.
Carter,
Yes.
Cowart,
Yes.
Esri,
Yes.
Furtado,
Yes.
Goss.
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Patterson.
Yes.
Motion carries. Would the finance chair read the committee's recommendation for number 5?
I move the adoption of ordinance number 2022-18, providing for the issue of not to exceed $20 million general obligation bonds, general sales tax alternate revenue source, for the purpose of renovating, repairing, and equipping the former County Plaza building for the relocation of various county offices, providing for the pledge of certain revenues to the payment of principal and interest on said bonds, and the levy of a direct annual tax sufficient to pay said bonds if the pledged revenues are insufficient to make such payments, and authorizing the sale of said bonds to the purchaser thereof.
Can I get a second? Ms. Fenich Thurnott. I need to also say here that the County Plaza Bond Ordinance authorizes officials to sell the bonds not later than December 5th, 2022, at an interest rate not exceeding 6%, and the latest maturity date of 1/1/2044. Any further discussion? Seeing none, I need a roll call vote.
King,
Yes.
Lakshin,
Yes.
McGuire, Paul,
No.
Rodriguez,
Yes.
Store,
Yes.
Summers,
Yes.
Taylor,
Yes.
Thorsland,
Yes.
Finish Zernaut,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Carter,
Yes.
Cowart,
Yes.
Esri,
Yes.
Furtado,
Yes.
Goss,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Patterson.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Now we're down to new business. If there's no objection, I'll take items A and B together for adoption of resolution number 2022-259, authorizing purchases not following the purchasing policy, and adoption of resolution number 2022-260, authorizing payment of claims. Can I get a motion? Ms. Cowart, second. Mr. Summers. Discussion? The auditor is here. Mr. Williams.
This is for George. Since we just passed a budget amendment, does item 1 stay on or come off now? The first item, since we passed the budget amendment, does it stay on or does it come off now?
We don't have a process to take them off. I think that the submission deadline had occurred before action was taken by the committee of the whole. So it lingers. But I understand, it's no longer insufficient.
All right.
Was there a question on the second or third items? Okay, the emergency purchase was for water main and concrete. It was truly emergent. On the circuit clerk, I would say simply that this item did get there's no question of line item insufficiency. The reason it's there is simply because when the initial contract was pursued, it did not go to bid or to RFP. And so this is a case where you see the recurrence on the non-conforming purchases report because of the initial manner in which it was purchased.
Mr. Williams.
I would like to move to amend the chart that we strike the first item.
I'm not sure you guys can take something off of the auditor's report. Oh, you want to take off the resolution not authorizing purchasing policy?
Sorry,
I'm
we
not
want
sure.
to take off the first item off the chart attached to the resolution.
You want to alter the auditor's report?
No.
It's a resolution.
It's a resolution authorizing purchases not following purchasing policy. Do you not want to authorize that purchase?
I would like to strike it from the chart because it's now authorized.
I have no comment on legislative matters.
Okay. Yeah, I think you're voting on whether you're authorizing the purchases or you're not authorizing the purchases. I don't think you can change what the auditor wrote in his report.
I think that we can change any legislation we want to change.
You can't change an official's report. You just need to say, or you don't want to authorize that one, or you do want to authorize them. That's what we're deciding.
I just want to strike it. I just want to have a vote to strike it. That's all.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Ms. Furtado?
I would like to just keep it as it is, but in order just to move things along, can we just vote on Mr. Williams' proposal? I agree with him that we should, as a body, have the ability to do so. I disagree with the necessity of doing so. I would just let's just go ahead and vote on it, and then we can move on with our lives. I oppose his suggestion.
Mr. Esri?
Quick question, when was payroll made? Has this money already been spent? So it was made without authorization, and, I mean, initially it was over budget, so it stands.
I'm not sure this question has ever come up before. We may need to table this until the next meeting. I don't think you can change the report. You can decide or vote on it or not vote on it.
I would be willing to amend my motion to
Okay.
strike to motion to table.
All right. So we want to table this until the next meeting where we get clarification about whether we can take it off?
If you table it, it means it goes away forever. You need to postpone it. You cannot table
Postpone it to the next meeting, correct?
I would like to amend it to postpone consideration.
Okay. Mr. Williams would like to propose postponement to the next meeting to determine whether we can ask the auditor to amend his report. Okay, those in favor of, we're postponing to the next meeting. I'm sorry, we need a second, I guess. Mr. Patterson is seconding. Those in favor of postponing to the next meeting, say aye. Those opposed? Nay. Okay, maybe we need a hand count. Those in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4. Those opposed? The motion did not carry. Okay, we're going back to the original adoption of the resolutions authorizing purchasing, purchases not following policy, and payment of claims. Those in favor? Those opposed? Okay, motion carries. All right, moving on. Can I get a motion for adoption of resolution number 2022-261, approving the budget amendment, BUA 2022/11/125, Fund 2679, Child Advocacy Center / Department 179, for increased appropriation of $18,500, increased revenue 0. The reason is to increase the spending authority in professional services using the Child Advocacy Center fund balance to cover the cost of increasing counseling for victims of abuse. Can I get a motion? Ms. Lakshan, second, Ms. Cowart. Discussion? Those in favor? This requires 15, sorry, I need a roll call.
King,
Yes.
Lockshin,
Yes.
McGuire. Paul,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Yes.
Storr,
Yes.
Summers,
Yes.
Taylor,
Yes.
Thorsland. Finish Thiernot,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Carter,
Yes.
Cowart,
Yes.
Esri,
Yes.
Furtado,
Yes.
Goss.
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Patterson.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Okay, we're now moving to, if there's a no objection, can I get a motion for items D and E? Adoption of resolution number 2022-262, approving budget amendment BUA 2022/11/159, Fund 2092 for the Law Library, Department 174 Law Library, increased appropriation 6850, increased revenue 6850. Reason to receive a grant from the Illinois Access to Justice for supporting self-represented litigants at the help desk. And E, adoption of resolution number 2022-263, approving budget amendment BUA 2022-11/172, Fund 1080 General Corporate, Department 031 Circuit Court. Increased appropriations $15,800, increased revenue $15,800. Reason to receive reimbursement from the state of Illinois for certified interpreter fees paid out of the past year. Ms. Cowart, thank you. Mr. Esri, discussion? This requires 15 votes. Can I get a roll call?
Yes.
King,
Yes.
Lockshin,
Yes.
McGuire. Paul,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Yes.
Storr,
Yes.
Straub, Summers,
Yes.
Taylor,
Yes.
Thorsland.
Yes.
Finish Thiernot,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Carter,
Yes.
Cowart,
Yes.
Esri,
Yes.
Furtado,
Yes.
Goss,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Patterson.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Can I get a motion for adoption of resolution number 2022-264, approving the award of contract for the satellite jail consolidation project pursuant to ITB number 2022-009? Mr. Summers, can I get a second? Ms. Furtado, any discussion? Ms. Furtado?
I want to acknowledge Mr. Thompson, who came and stated that Restig Reed indicated that we were not serious and that those were aspirational goals for minority-owned and women-owned business and participation on the project. And I want to make abundantly clear that those goals are serious and that there are serious consequences if they are not met. I want to make this abundantly clear to Restig Reed. I want to make this abundantly clear to all of our staff that work in facilities. And I want to make this abundantly clear to the contractor that is being awarded today, PG Hauer. I want to read what those consequences are. If the contractor is considered to be not in compliance by the county executive or his designee, the county executive will send in writing to the contractor their noncompliance. They then have 10 business days to cure their noncompliance or and to demonstrate that they have put a good effort into reaching those aspirational goals, or put in writing what their plan is to do so. If the county executive at that time decides that that is not indeed a good faith effort, and let me be clear, there will be minority and women participation on this project, or it will not be considered a good faith effort. There is no reason on our committee that that goal cannot be met. This is what the consequences can be. Cancel, terminate, or suspend the contract in whole or in part. Declare the contracting entity ineligible for further contracts for up to 1 calendar year. Require the contracting entity to pay liquidated damages in the amount of $50 per day. Each day the contracting entity was in a noncompliance, beginning with the original date of the letter of noncompliance and/or pursue other contractual remedies or sanctions allowable by the law. We didn't put that in there for our health. We were serious about it. Anybody who's saying that's something that can be ignored, I mean, it was in the bid packet, and there was a reason for that. And our expectation is that these goals, that there is going to be a demonstrable good faith effort that these goals are met. And everybody who's part of this project and everybody who's part of the upcoming County Plaza project needs to understand that, and that needs to be the message that is being expressed by anyone who is speaking for this county.
Mr. Summers.
I just want to make it abundantly clear that I concur with Ms. Furtado.
Any further discussion? Okay, let's take a vote. Those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay. Motion carries. I'd like to say a word this evening.
Thank you. I'm just going to take a quick minute just to thank everybody because the amount of work that's been put into this, and I'm actually going to speak to Reed and Reeve Stack, which are behind me right now. The amount of work that's been put into this from Chris and Chuck, and I know, Stephanie, what you had to say, which is a person speaking, but I can tell you from my standpoint, we have taken it very seriously. We have spent so many hours working on this project, and as you guys know, years of speaking and seeing this face, which you're still going to see for a while, but we're at least coming to a conclusion on something in the beginning of something new. So I want to thank everybody in the room. Some are gone, some are still here, and we're going to be losing some, I know, coming up. But you guys have all really just listened to what we had to say, even if you didn't agree, and even if we had to come to a middle ground with this, and some may still say no, and I understand. But I just wanted to say thank you to everyone that's been sitting around the table, and especially to the architects who have just done a phenomenal job to find something and put something together within the budget that we have been allowed. So I just want to take a minute and say that tonight. So thank you.
Thanks, Carrie. Moving on to item G, can the executive get a motion for adoption of resolution number 2022-265, honoring retiring county employees? Mr. Esri, second. Mr. Storr, and Mr. Storr can read the resolution, please.
Thank you. County Executive Kleppel. Resolution number 2022 wait a minute, I'm sorry. Resolution number 2022-2265, resolution honoring retiring county employees. Whereas it is the vision of Champaign County Board to be a recognized leader in local government where every official and employee has a personal devotion to excellence in public service and embraces the highest standards of ethics and integrity, which enable Champaign County to provide the best customer service to its citizens. And whereas one element of pursuing this vision is communicating to employees that their service to Champaign County is both valued and appreciated. And whereas Champaign County employees admirably serve the people of Champaign County with full commitment to the responsibilities of the county offices, work in partnership with fellow employees and county officials, and have dedication to the best interest of all the people of Champaign County. And whereas the Champaign County Board wishes to recognize this dedication and service of the employees who are retiring in fiscal year 2022. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Champaign County Board recognizes each of the aforementioned retiring Champaign County employees as an asset to the citizens of the city of Champaign County, and expresses our sincere gratitude and sincere appreciation for their years of service. Presented, adopted, approved, and recorded this 17th day of November, Anno Domini 2022. with the chair's, county executive's permission, I will read these retiring employees. Carolyn Walker, years of service, 6. Chris Solly, 9 years. Sarah Wilhelm, 11 years. Tracy Swisher, 12 years. Peggy Nelson, 14. Michael Thomas, 14 years. Michael Thomas, 20 years. I'm sorry. Thank you, Jenny. Arnold Matthews, 20 years. Kevin Franzen, 22. Mike Williams, 20 years. Kevin Franzen, 22 years. Susan Monte, 23 years. Michelle Menenga. I have phonetically it's pronounced Menenga. Menenga? Okay, then my pronunciation guide is in error. 25 years. Kimberly Ritchie, 25 years. James Hogue, 27 years. Lori A. Busboom, 28 years. Debbie Heiser, 35 years.
Thank you, Chris. Mr. Esri? Yeah, that's a second. Thank you. Actually, I think you moved and he seconded already. Okay.
Maybe that if there's any of the people
No,
present.
are there any of the retirees here this evening? I'm not seeing anybody. Nope. No one's here this evening. I do have little clocks for them, and I will make sure that they get them this week after the meeting. Thank you. Can we take a vote on that resolution, please? Those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. And next, can I get a motion for item H, adoption of resolution 2022-266, honoring county employees? Ms. King?
So moved.
Thank you. Ms. Van H. Thurnott? Thank you. Mr. Storer, would you read that one?
Thank you. Resolution number 2022-266. Resolution honoring county employees' years of service. Whereas it is the vision of Champaign County Board to be a recognized leader in local government where every official and employee has a personal devotion to excellence in public service and embraces the highest standards of ethics and integrity, which enable Champaign County to provide the best customer services to its citizens. And whereas one element of pursuing this vision is communicating to employees that their service to Champaign County is valued and appreciated. And whereas Champaign County employees admirably serve the people of Champaign County with full commitment to the responsibility of county offices, work in partnership with fellow employees and county officials, and have dedication to the best interests of all the people of Champaign County. And whereas the Champaign County Board wishes to recognize the dedication and service of the employees who have reached 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and 35-year milestones in fiscal year 2022. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the County Board of Champaign County hereby recognizes each of the aforementioned Champaign County employees as an asset to the citizens of Champaign County and expresses its gratitude and sincere appreciation for their many years of service. Presented, adopted, approved, and recorded this 17th day of November, Anno Domini 2022. With the executive's permission, I will read the names of those employees. For 5 years of service, Susan Norris, Mary Tewell, Brianna Harrison, Christine Rantisi, Elaine Carter, Andrew Kowalski, Melissa Studenars, Jennifer Marner, Jared Tinsley, Kayana Jackson, Katie Harmon, Angela Lewis, Maria Morrow, Kathleen Reardon, Delitso Sulamoyo, Maury Williamson, Anna Bruno, Terry Holmes, Teresa Norman, Jennifer Spain, Diana Burris, Jawanda Clark. Those who have served us for 10 years are Nicole Darby, Stephanie Berry, Tammy Hayden, Bobby Valley, Brian Malik, Matthew Bannock, Brad Gould, Naomi Jones, Kristen Rugels, Linda McCoy, Kevin Kuntz, Vaughn Wilson, Nancy Hokala, Tamia Price. Those who have served for 15 years of service are Deshona Matthew, Carrie Miller, Robert Baker, Jenna Vermillion, Stephanie Center, Stephen Barkley, Joshua Sapp, Mark Maidens, Scott Larson, Jennifer Feeney, Kaylee Spencer, Janelle Kulmula, Gladys Perez, Michelle Grimm, Gabrielle Lewis, Christy Martin, Dana Smith. Those who have served us for 20 years include Heather Gill, Kara Helm, James Spence, Stephen Winters, Magozata Adamczyk, Shannon Siders, Teresa Carr, Tony Caesar. Those who have served us for 25 years include Patricia Layton, Linda Osborne, LaTonya Stovall, Stacy Sherrick, Patricia Walls, Lisa Withrow, Michael Shelto, Stephanie Howard Gallo, Jason Otwood, Jonathan Riestek, Linda Dyer. Those who have served for 30 years include Ms. Heather Rumpel, Curtis Appleton, Dwayne Rolfs. Only one person has served us for 35 years, and Mr. Keith Willis. Madam County Executive.
Thank you. Okay, I would like to take a vote. Those in favor of this resolution?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. And if any of you are here this evening, thank you for your service. Okay. As this is my last board meeting, I would also like to recognize the people who keep the county running. This is my executive management team, and they are all here this evening. I would like them to stand, and you can recognize them. Some of you may not know all of them if you haven't been in my office at all. First, I have Tammy Ogden. You probably know Tammy. She's been at a lot of these meetings. She is our Director of Finance. Bill Colbrook, Director of Administration, handles most of our HR affairs for the county. MC Neal is our CIO, Chief Information Officer, and he's basically been doing at least 2 jobs since he's been here, so he has that title plus a couple of other things. Dana Brenner is here this evening. Many of you know Dana. He's in charge of all of our facilities and grounds and runs a pretty sharp operation to keep us going 24/7. And Rita Kinchlow is my executive assistant. I'm not sure many of you know who she is. You usually see the administrative assistants that report to her, but she is in my office and keeps all of them running and keeping. Most of her folks do under what's called other, under a job description. So they're busy all the time, but never certain things. I also want to recognize this evening the other 2 people that are valuable to my management team. Orion is here this evening. He is the Chief Deputy Auditor. And between him and Tammy, they keep the county's finances in order and bills paid and all the other departments following rules and laws and things that they have to be doing regarding our finances. And the other person that is not here this evening is Matt Bannock. He is the chief of the Civil Division of the State's Attorney's Office, and he's the person that we go to if we have things regarding county rules, regulations, policies, things like that. So I just would like to recognize them this evening. I would like to say that I am grateful for all of the work that they've done. I've pushed them really hard during my term. Despite the pandemic and a few other things, they have managed to get all of the goals done, which I had set out to do at the beginning of my term. And please join me in showing some appreciation for their efforts. Thank you all for coming this evening and making it one more meeting out. And lastly, although the county board members are technically not county employees, so to speak, and my relationship with some board members has been fairly rocky over my term, I still would like to recognize and acknowledge the work of the board members, which requires a significant amount of time. As you're aware, around the room at this time and also out in the hallway, if you want to take a walk out in the hallway, we have an art show going on. This is some of the art pieces that I have purchased for the County Plaza building because I realize the county doesn't often have funds for decoration kind of things in our tight budgets. I did that when I came here to Brookings. I bought some art for the halls here, and I have purchased this. I bought most of these from yard sales, estate sales, secondhand stores, those kinds of things. These are art that reflects our Midwestern culture and our local artists. About a third to half of them were done by local artists here, and the other portion of them are photography of the history of the county or just nice scenes that have to do with country scenes, things like that. So please feel free to, this is just a sampling. I actually purchased 365 pieces of art. This is about 35 to 40 pieces that are still downstairs. The rest of them are in storage, and these will be moved up tomorrow. So I just thought you'd like to see what some of them are. And while I was doing that, Rita, if you could pass around, yeah. So while I was doing that, I found something that I thought might be appropriate to share with the county board members as a memento of your time here on the board. These are handmade objects that reflect the party of your choice. And I also have a special treat for Kyle, who is the county board chair. I found this and thought he would really appreciate it. It says at the bottom, destiny, our destiny is not written for us, but by us. So this is for you. And then I also found something I thought appropriate for the incoming county executive. So Steve, this is for you. It says, everyone brings joy to this office, some when they enter and some when they leave. Okay, and now we can move on to our last discussion items. The workforce study, I know several of you were overwhelmed with the presentation last week at the Committee of the Whole. There was information that they presented. You have that in your packets from last time, but I also wanted to share the background information. There's a little bit more data, some of the spreadsheets and things that they had, and I wanted to be sure that you had everything that we had for going forward. I've also included a couple of things that some of you way back have. ESOC presented a workforce plan to the board in 2019 that was not adopted, but we've been using as moving forward. And there's also the county policies, personnel policies, which need revision desperately. I started to do it when I took office. ESOC and I and Deb Busey worked on it a little bit, but it got stuck with the pandemic. We didn't move forward. So that I'm going to share with all of you. You have a packet here. I'm going to pass if you want to. There you go. And there's more if I don't have enough. so that each of you can have the information. It's also going to get posted online so that you'll have it for future when you do the workforce work that you need to do in the next year. Okay, and then now we're moving on to the ARPA project. Kathy is here for her monthly ARPA report and update.
Good evening. We have the monthly update in there. As we continue to get agencies reporting back, we're filling in some of the contracts that are being implemented, some notes in parentheses for now until those projects get to the point where we can put them in the completed section. And so we've added some data in there regarding that. We're currently working with, many different departments on their expenses and many contracts on their payments. And all the different contracts are at different various stages. Contracts that we're still working on finalizing. On the second page of that memo, we have a few that are listed there. I do want to mention, since this memo was submitted, we do have the VOLO assistance for Housing Authority properties is now signed. So we'll move that up in the section. And then we're currently drafting a few of those others, the 2 other broadband contracts. The Habitat for Humanity contract is out for signatures. And the First Followers H3 Coalition contract, we're currently drafting that as well. So various stages that we have for those, we've included the timeline, of course, and the revenue and expense projections. At the time of this information, we didn't have October month-end numbers available yet to include in this chart. And those are the main highlights I want to point out tonight. I can answer any questions on specifics.
Ms. Furtado.
In part, just because I really admire his persistence, and also in other part, because one of the goals of this ARPA money is to get it out, right? To get it out into the community as expeditiously as possible. We're still sitting, the Tolono project is on hold for $75,000. It's clearly not moving forward this year. Can we give this, I've asked this question multiple times, I still haven't gotten an answer, so I'm just gonna ask it now. Can we just decide to give the $60,000 to Seymour, and we still can come back next year? If Tolono's got a project for $75,000, I would support still giving them $75,000. But I think the Seymour project, he's got to be one of the most persistent people we've seen. He's come every time. I support it. Can we just decide to do it?
I think Mr. Esri had a proposal to bring this evening about the water projects.
The caucus, it's come to our understanding that Penfield's water project, the water tank, is higher than it was projected to be, potentially by up to $100,000. So it was the Republican caucus's idea to give the Tolono money to Penfield, all of it, and if possible, if they need the $100,000, if the county board would be willing to maybe fulfill the rest of that need, and also potentially give Seymour money. I mean, we realize the water money from the seven urban districts hasn't been sent out yet, in essence, you could say, designated. So it's in the majority's hand of the county board as a whole, but that's what the Republican caucus's decision was the idea to do as much as we can for Penfield. We already gave them, I forget how much, but to get that water tank replaced if possible, and then also ideally do the water meters for Seymour.
I'm okay with that.
So just to be clear, Tolono was granted $75,000. They will not be able to use it. Their district is being absorbed by the American Water Company, and so they have declined to sign an IGA. And the Seymour project ask was $60,000, and the Penfield ask was for $120,000 more because their costs, they were estimating, and then they went out and actually got bids, and it was more. So if we move the money around, we will be allocating more money out of the water for those two projects, but it's about $100,000.
It would be 85,000, because it'd be 75,000 plus 25,000 plus
Right,
65,000 minus 75,000.
Yep.
So it'd be 85,000.
Okay. So that's the proposal on the table. Mr. Thorsland, are you have a comment about that?
Yeah, as sitting in this room alone while we had Zoom meetings about the water projects, I know we have 7 districts that also have water allocation. Most of those districts fall into places where we can get some matching funds from the municipalities. I would be in support of this as well. We can make a huge difference to the people of Penfield. We can make a huge difference to the Seymour Water District. It's not a big part of the other 7 districts, and I think we can work to make that also do good work. But this is like really good work that we can do for people directly that will last a long time, especially the Penfield project. So I would be in support of that as well.
For recollection, I believe we have 2.5 million left for the water projects in total. Yeah. Mr. Ezra?
Just say it, yes, Eric, it is what we've spent it on, I agree, and are talking about spending it on tonight, if it's agreed to, is good. I mean, it's work that needs to be done, so it would be greatly appreciated by those communities and by me especially, and I believe probably everyone on the county board that is in favor of it, which I would hope would be everyone, that we can get these done. It would be, like I say, greatly appreciated. Thanks.
So just a point of clarification, would then Kathy have to amend the Penfield agreement?
Kathy would have to amend the Penfield agreement to a larger amount, and then we would have to do an IGA with Seymour, which would have to come back to the next board meeting. Yeah. Okay, if that's what you want to do, we'll move forward on that. Okay, sounds good. Thanks for coming tonight. And unless you have further questions for Kathy, I believe that concludes our business for this evening. I'm sorry, Jim?
Thank you very much. Obviously, I'm going off the board after 10 years. I just wanted to let the public know how much I appreciated working for them and with them, serving them, and all of you. You'll be missed. Also, I'd like to make a comment about Darlene's service on the county board as executive for the last 4 years. There were some tumultuous times with the nursing home and the consolidation of the jail. So I appreciate your dedication and service, and enjoy your retirement. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you, Jacob, too. And Mary.
Ms. King? Ms. King?
I'd also like to thank everybody, the voters of District 10 and other people on the county board for giving me this opportunity to serve you. It's been a big learning experience, and it's been an honor, and I can't thank everybody enough.
Okay, seeing no further discussion, the meeting is adjourned.